Well, hello friends. Today we are going to work on Hack Studio a little bit, because it's been a while. And we are going to take the C++ syntax highlighting stuff from Hack Studio, which currently only works in Hack Studio. And we're going to lift this and make it work for any text editor widget, so that if you were to open, say, a CPP file in text editor here, then it would show up with syntax highlighting. So let's get started. I guess. So let's look at how it currently works. So currently, we have this thing in the Hack Studio main CPP called rehighlight, which after we open a file in Hack Studio and the file name ends with CPP or H, then we set up an onChange callback for the text editor widget, where we just call rehighlight whenever the text changes. And then in rehighlight, we serialize the text content, pass it through a C++ lexer that I wrote in an earlier video, and then we sort of generate this style and color information for each of the tokens that we find using the C++ lexer. Now, I would like to move this to the text editor widget somehow, but I would also like to make it a little more general, so that you could create a syntax highlighter for any language that you want. So I'm imagining that we would have an API like, so say that the file name ends with CPP or H, and then we would do current editor set highlighter make CPP syntax highlighter, something like that. And then the syntax highlighter object would have all of that logic inside of it, and then we wouldn't need to deal with any of that stuff in Hack Studio. So, and then we don't need to set up any onChange callbacks or anything like that. So it would just be this. So let's see how that would look like if we make some classes for that. So like highlighter. Call it a highlighter or a syntax highlighter. Maybe syntax highlighter is slightly more understandable. And we'll make a CPP one right away. And we'll also edit the meg file of libgui. I guess syntax highlighter and CPP syntax highlighter. All right. And then let's go and define this class, syntax highlighter. So let's do something really simple, like a virtual void rehighlight, basically like that. I think maybe we can start with that. We're also going to want to do the brace matching in the highlighting class. So this message is a little annoying right now. So Hack Studio does this brace matching, and it works on parens, and it also works on brackets. So we'll highlight the matching bracket when you put the cursor next to a bracket. I think we want to do that in the syntax highlighter object as well somehow, but we'll figure it out as we go. So this will be that class, and then maybe this should be in a library of its own. I'm just going to put it in libgui now, but maybe if we keep adding, if we add more languages, then it might make sense to migrate it to its own library. But for now, libgui is fine. So CPP syntax highlighter, public syntax highlighter, GUI syntax highlighter. All right, and rehighlight override, and this can be final. Okay, let's start with that. And then the implementation of rehighlight, we'll just take that from Hack Studio and put it into CPP syntax highlighter. And this will now be CPP syntax highlighter rehighlight. Okay. And I guess let's just include some stuff here so that we can get things started. Oopsie doopsie. Right, there's no set syntax highlighter. So we'll have to add that to text editor. Set syntax highlighter. Syntax highlighter. And I think that's okay. I'll just forward declare it here. And then let's just have it be an inputter. So a text editor can be without a syntax highlighter, and that's, I guess, like the normal mode of operation. Because then we were hooking the onChange callback, right? And so onChange, it's this guy right here. So whenever something changes in the text editor, then we invoke the onChange callback. And we can actually look at what it fires here. So I think we can do something like this, right? If we have a highlighter, then just re-highlight. And there was one more place where that was happening. Where is it? Here. Okay. So we're going to need the definition. Syntax highlighter. But essentially, I think that's good. So then, actually, we need to also implement text editor set syntax highlighter. So I think if we look at the functionality in the CPP highlighter, we see that it's trying to get at the editor. So it wants to get the text from the editor, and then wants to access the document of the editor. So maybe we should say that when you set a syntax highlighter on a text editor object, then we will attach the highlighter to the editor. So let's see, this is the assignment thingy. So if we have a highlighter, then we'll detach it, and then if you've assigned one, then we will attach it to this editor. And I guess after we attach, we should also do like an initial rehighlight, so that it takes effect immediately. Okay, and then here we're gonna need some attach and detach. So this will just be like something like this. And what would this do? I guess we can put it out of line actually. Detach. And we'll do something like an editor. Oh, well, hold on, this should be a raw putter. Maybe even a weak putter to text editor. Okay. Cool. I think that makes sense. Because otherwise, I don't want to deal with the situation where where you are attaching a syntax highlighter to a text editor, and then you don't detach it, but instead you destroy the text editor, because then I guess you would tear down the highlighter actually in that case. So maybe a raw pointer is not so bad, but I just don't want to use a raw pointer if I can avoid it. So let's use a weak pointer. Okay, so now that we have those, we can implement something for those. Something simple. So we'll just be like attach text editor. Editor make weak per, but we need the declaration of text editor for that. Okay, and can also assert here that we don't have another editor already. Likewise, in detach, we can assert that we have an editor, because assertions are nice and they catch stupid bugs that you would otherwise introduce. So, okay. Or they catch bugs, maybe not before you introduce them, but once you hit them, then it's much easier to diagnose them if you have assertions. Okay, I think that's okay. Now we have the editor here, which means that in CPP syntax highlighter, oh, we need the lexer. We have to move that. Move it from Hack Studio CPP lexer. This is a bit weird, moving a C++ lexer into the GUI widget library, which is clearly a vote for putting it into a lib syntax or something like that, but I'm just going to push forward with doing this in libgui for now. But this definitely seems like something we'll have to reevaluate. CPP, okay. So let's get rid of it from some places. CPP lexer ploof and fresh. Okay, now he lives in libgui. And we'll even put him in the libgui namespace, because why not? CPP lexer namespace GUI. Okay. So I think we can just leave the lexer alone right now. We don't need to change that. But here we are going to need libgui CPP lexer. And the current editor is actually now its M editor. And we'll just assert that we have an editor. When we're being told to highlight, then we should really have an editor, right? So text editor. And M editor. And M editor update. So what the heck is notified did rehighlight? I think that's some Hack Studio thing. So, right, it's the curly brace matching thingy. So we will just migrate this code. So they're called brace buddies. That's very cute. I forgot I named them that. I think we can move the brace buddies logic from the Hack Studio editor subclass. This is in cursor did change, so we'll just take that and we'll put that. Like cursor did change, maybe? Can make something that calls into that. And who actually calls that from text editor? So that's here, cursor did change. So what if we just did like if m highlighter cursor did change? Don't have to get so fancy. Okay, now we have the C++ syntax highlighter with a cursor did change. This design doesn't have to be perfect on the first iteration. We just want to move it out of Hack Studio here. So, okay, so now the highlighter will be notified when the cursor moves, which will give it a chance to figure out some new brace buddies, basically. So the brace buddies are like this guy right here and this guy right here. They're the brace buddies. Oh, and this thing, we need to get that from wherever that is. Hack Studio main returns a text style, so I guess it belongs with that thing. I'll just put that here. Okay. And then we need these data members, has brace buddies, and the buddy data type. These are all adorable. We'll put them in here. Or maybe brace buddies are more like a higher level concept. Maybe we could even put it here, because maybe more syntax highlighter subclasses are going to want brace buddies, so we'll put them here. And then of course we need a GUI text document for the span definition. Declaration, I keep messing those up. Not definition, declaration. And so let's see, now we have to get the document from the editor. And maybe the, okay, so this guy will actually, it will not assert on null deref? Okay. That's a little bit janky. Maybe we should make it do that. But I'm gonna assert editor here just for good measure. And editor update. Oh, and here too. Okay. So now we just need highlight matching token pair, which is also in the Hack Studio editor thingy. Oh, right, this code. I haven't looked at this for a while. Syntax highlighter. So this is definitely CPP syntax highlighter specific at the moment, because it knows about which C++ token types to match up. So we're like looking for the C++ token left curly and right curly to pair those up, and left paren, right paren, left bracket, right? So highlight matching token pair is definitely highlighter subclass specific at the moment, so we should probably make that virtual. And maybe it was a mistake to make cursor did change virtual, because this actually does not operate on any language-specific data. So we can move it to syntax highlighter, which will be nice, and then we'll make it non-virtual. And then instead, we make that other thing virtual. What was it? Highlight matching token pair. And I think we could probably figure out a path to devirtualize this. We don't have to do that right away, but like you could imagine having the subclass of syntax highlighter tell syntax highlighter these are the token identifiers that I want you to match up for purposes of brace pairing, right? Brace matching. I think that could be a good thing to do later, but we don't have to do that right now. We can make it virtual and leave it in CPP syntax highlighter. So editor document. And this guy was replaced by highlight matching token pair. Okay. Update. That's actually an editor update. The cursor is the editor cursor. Okay. So what does this even do? It just scans scans either backward or forward for from a specific index in the document, looking for a token of this type, but not of this type. And then it sets some colors. So yeah, this stuff is also going to have to become themable and things, but it's a little bit outside of the scope of what we're doing right now. Okay, so I'm probably forgetting something, but oh, highlighter. Highlight. Where's the syntax? Highlighter. Ah. Okay. So what did we forget? We cannot destroy a text editor if we don't know what a syntax highlighter looks like, because we have a member that points to one of those. So we'll just... Wait, that was already there. Wait, where am I now? Text editor CPP has a non-virtual destructor, blah, 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 57. Oh, I have to declare a non-virtual destructor. And we can just put that out of line, actually. Wait, that's not where I want to be. Okay, and then we can go ahead and make it non-copyable, non-movable. Wait, what's that? That's how we normally do that, I think. All right. Maybe we should make a virtual override destructor here too. So just for good measure. Okay, so what are we missing now? We cannot construct that. Oh, because I forgot to qualify with the namespace. Make a GUI CPP syntax highlighter. And you don't like that because there is no constructor like that. I suppose I could provide one for you. We'll say that this is protected. Seems fine. Undefined reference to CPP lexer lex. Oh shit, I forgot to add that to the make file. CPP. And now we forgot about cursor did change. Oh, just a virtual override that we need to get rid of. Okay, so this is nice because it actually uncomplicates the Hack Studio editor class a bit. So it's a subclass of the GUI text editor where we do a little bit of this and that to paint it, especially for the way that it renders in Hack Studio. And we also do the thing where you hover over a key over a name that happens to have a man page, and we show the man page in a pop-up. So it does little things like that by subclassing text editor. But removing the highlighting related stuff from here definitely feels like a huge improvement. And of course, it's going to be a huge improvement just to have access to highlighting in other programs if we want to. So highlighting is still here. Int foobar is 3. Okay, looks pretty good. I'm falling out of love with these colors, but it should be easy enough to make some new ones. So what do we have here now? It's pretty good. So let's just commit all of this gunk, and then we can go and add it to another program. GUI plus Hack Studio. Move syntax highlighting from Hack Studio to the GUI. This patch introduces the GUI syntax highlighter class, which can be attached to a GUI text editor to provide syntax highlighting. The C++ syntax highlighting from Hack Studio becomes a new class called CPP syntax highlighter. This will make it possible to get C++ syntax highlighting in any app that uses a GUI text editor. No, side note, it does feel a bit weird having a C++ lexer in a GUI toolkit library, and we'll probably end up moving this out to a separate place when this functionality grows large. Yeah. Okay, so let's see if we can just enable it for. We'll just take that CPP thingy and we'll do the same in the text editor app. let's see, open, what do we open? Open action, open Sesame. So when we open a file, then we read it, blah, 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 called set path. Maybe when we set the path in the app, then we compute the extension right here. So we could actually say if m extension is CPP or m extension is .h, or maybe it is just CPP and h like that, then an editor, then we will just get one of those guys and bring him in. So I guess in a way, I'm not working on Hack Studio right now. I'm just taking functionality from Hack Studio and lifting it out. And look at that. We have syntax highlighting in the text editor program. Isn't that nice? Of course, it only works for C++ right now, but this will make it a little more interesting to add more languages, I think. And maybe as we add more, we could have maybe like a little syntax menu up here or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. But this is nice. Hello, friend. Cool. And oh yeah, and let me show you that thing I was talking about where we show the man page. So like for McDeer here, you can see the McDeer man page. And if I were to call something else, foo, then I can get the man page for that. Of course, this is scrollable, although it's not super duper easy to use because if you mouse in just slightly the wrong way, then it goes away. But I think that's something we can improve on. And it's a feature I quite like. Anyway, so let's commit. Wait, what did I just change here? Oh, I didn't mean to change this. Dang it. Unrelated change. I hate those. At the same time, this is clearly wrong. File found range. Dang it. Okay, I have to just put it back to the way it was. Okay. Text editor. Enable C++ syntax highlighting for .cp and .h files. Cool. That's pretty cool. So I really like that. Simplifies Hack Studio, brings more functionality to anyone using a text editor. What's not to love? Okay, I think that's going to be it for today's video. So if you made it this far, then I thank you for watching, for hanging out, and I hope you saw something interesting today, because that's what it's all about, right? Sharing interesting programming concepts. So yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you next time.